Today we're going to be looking at most of the 1970s studio albums that were released in Japan, and I'll show you some different obi designs because the obi can be useful in identifying which record you have or which version you have. And at the end I'll point out the one Elvis album released in Japan that was never reissued, apart from a few compilation albums. So the first one we'll take a look at is Elvis Country, and this has a red, white and blue obi, and many albums from that period came with this particular obi, as that was the period in which most Elvis albums were being released in Japan. That was really his peak in Japan, early 1970s. And another copy I have to show you. This is very easy to differentiate from the previous one, in that this one has a 50th anniversary obi. So of course this one came out in 1985. This is actually just old inventory repackaged with a new obi, which is a strategy they use to get rid of old stock quite often. And you can tell it's an old record and old cover just by looking at the label and the catalog number. Okay, so this record and cover would have been manufactured in the mid to late 70s, and then it was still sitting around in a warehouse somewhere in 1985, so they just basically stuck a new obi on it and made it part of the 50th anniversary series. It's quite hard to find this one. Another one from the early 70s is Love Letters. Again, you can see the red, white and blue obi there. This is the first version. And a later version from 1973 has a different design. So the style is very similar. The main difference is the background color has changed to yellow. Okay, and there were several albums released with this design of obi, and this design ran for about 2 or 3 years. So the first album after Aloha was Fool, and as you can see it also has this yellow background obi, different cover to the American version. And the Fool album was also issued or reissued as part of the 50th anniversary series. On this particular occasion it's not a repackaged unsold album from the mid to late 70s. It's actually a brand new reissue, as you can see there, from the different back cover and also from the LP, which has the new 50th anniversary design. Still with the mid 70s, the next album was Razon Rock, and again you can see it has the yellow background obi, and not long after that it was reissued with the next obi design, which was very similar to the yellow one, except the background color changed to white. Okay, so the outside is basically the same, and the text design is the same, only the background is different. And if you are going to get the original pressing of Razon Rock, be sure to get one with the bonus photo included. Now the second pressing, this one here, didn't come with the bonus photo, although this one is much more difficult to find. And then the next Stax album was Good Times, and once again the obi design changed. We're back to a yellow background now, and this style was very similar to the one used on A Legendary Performer Volume 1. So there's just those two albums released with this yellow design. And as you can see, it has again a different back cover to the American album. And that was soon reissued with this orange design. The back cover is still the same, and this orange design is fairly consistent with the next 2 or 3 albums. The first of which was Promised Land. Now Promised Land is one of the more difficult ones to tell apart, the two different versions. And I'll show you the second one. It's probably not immediately obvious what the differences are, so I'll put them up together, see if you can spot the difference, what the difference is. So the one here, this one is the first edition, and you can see that it has blue text, and this one here is the second one, and this has purple text. And another way you can spot the difference is by looking at the manufacturer's name at the bottom. This one here says RVC, the letters RVC. So if you have an Obi like this with RVC, this is the second version. If it doesn't have that text, it's the first version. And that second version has a very similar Obi to the next album, which was Today. Again, the orange background, this time it has the purple text, similar to the second version of Promised Land. And again, you have a different back cover design to the American version. This one was also included in the 50th anniversary series, but this one, unlike the full album, was just a repackaged old album. This is the 1975 album with a new Obi. And the last album I have to show you is actually the answer to the question I asked at the beginning, the one album which was only ever issued once in Japan, and that was this one here from Elvis Presley, Boulevard. And once again, you can see it has that same Obi design as the previous two albums, orange background with purple text. And this one, as I say, was never reissued. Moody Blue was actually a posthumous album, although it too came out in a couple of different versions. This one is the only regular album never to be reissued on vinyl in Japan. So there you go, just a quick video there to let you know how you can use the Obi to identify what version you have of a particular album. If you have any questions about Obis or Japanese releases, just feel free to drop one in the comment section below. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Cheers. Drop one below.